Hey, it's Matt Coffey with That Marketing Show, episode number 26. Went on a little vacation for the last couple of weeks, but we're back in the saddle. Well, I guess it was kind of a quasi-vacation because I still had to see patients, as I might call them, while it was out there on a short break. Because we had something that's called Penguin. Now, if you're familiar with SEO, search engine optimization, Google, you'll know this term. If you don't know this term, you may have found that after about, I'd say about May 25th or so, we had a little earthquake within Google. So Google kind of shakes up the spots where people are residing in the search results depending on the way that they've done their search engine optimization in the past, because Google's looking to try to weed out sort of the people who are trying to game Google's system. In this case, Penguin is the name for what's called the over-optimization penalty. And when we talk about over-optimization, we're talking about people who have done things to their website that create a level of density of their strategy, of their terms. Let's say it's a plumber and it's plumber all through the website, and also in their backlinking, that creates a serious significant change in the way that they get ranked in order of importance and authority within Google's structure of when someone is in the public is searching for the term. So if we think about a website and we think about what the website's about, in the last 30 days or so, a lot of people have come out of the woodwork saying, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden my ranking for my website is gone, or it's down, or it's missing, or we've been significantly pushed into the second page of results where we were always number one. So we're getting a lot of phone calls and emails and even people from far away saying, what can we do to resolve this problem? Because we were really sort of happy and getting lots of traffic for our website, and all of a sudden, after this May 25th earthquake, we call it an earthquake because it happens maybe every 6 months, or depending on which version of Google's update. This one happened to be a pretty strong one, or one of the strongest ones so far, where they really shook the search results up, and they did it on purpose so that they made sure people were aware that they know that there are criteria and thresholds that they're going to standardize around going forward with the way that people put together their websites, whether people link to their site. And what we're going to talk about right now is what causes the penalty and how to get out of the penalty. So any of the people who are watching this video right now who are in this position or in this spot where they've been penalized, pay attention. We're going to show you how to get rid of it, and we're going to show you how to solve the problem. So let's talk about why it happens. I'm going to put 3 boxes up here. Okay? This is sort of how I would describe the website. So we have a website that is about X. Okay? So in relative terms, when you think about it, if your website is about X, then there should be stuff about X. But there should also be stuff about Y and Z and A and B and C. If your title is, and I'm just going to take a random title here. Let's just say your title, and I always use the word plumbing. Let's say you're at www.plumbing.com, and your site's about plumbing, but it also talks about heating, air conditioning, how to clean vents, subjects related to sinks, drains, mold, whatever. There's lots of other topics that are in here. So yes, it's about plumbing itself, but there's also lots of other topics in there. Now, here's where the penalty comes in. If your site talks about X and has all these other topics, and your URL is this, and your site talks about X, 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 and has so much, and maybe a couple of Y's, right? Your site is about X. What Google's going to say is, why the heck are you trying to tell me so much about plumbing? Not just these other terms that we mentioned before, heating, air conditioning, blah, 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 blah. These random other terms. Yeah, those should be in here, but you're just concentrating on one term. So what Google has said is that we know, because of semantic matching, other terms that relate to this, about this. So you are obviously trying to elevate something within that term that basically says, we are trying to X, 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 X. So just say plumbing, plumbing, plumbing. It could be any term. But we're way over optimizing for the keyword. So what Google's saying, okay, that's way above my threshold. So let's just pretend this is the algorithm threshold. I am going to penalize your website because you're obviously trying to do something to manipulate the results. We don't like that anymore. We like you to talk about a diversified strategy. So now you go down, let's just say, to the bottom of the page. So let's say this is a page of search results. Here, you're up here. Now you're down here. Okay? Not a killer drop, but certainly a drop. Okay, so now let's go to the next level. So here's again, this is, let's say, a minor penguin penalty. Now let's go to the major. X, 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 an infinitum. All right, same scenario. Why are you telling me so much about X? I know that X relates to Y, Z, A, B, C. Again, plumbing, heating, blah, blah, blah. Why are you only concentrating on this one term? Blah, 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 on and on and on. So in this case, big penalty, right? Here's the page of search results. Here's this. Now you're back on, let's say, the 6th page. So this is what's happening. This is what people are coming to us with a problem. So we're trying to figure out, how do we solve this problem? So here are the basic things that are going to create the solve for this equation. You need to first eliminate the overabundance of text in your website. Whether it's page 1, page 3, the home page, secondary page, doesn't matter. You have to reduce the amount of text that results in this initial penguin problem. Now a lot of people will say, well, what's the difference between a penguin and a panda? Because a panda is another one of the terms that people hear in the blogospheres and the SEO. The penguin's main focus is on over-optimization. It was called originally over-optimization penalty. A panda is more of an on-page quality score. So they do have some correlation, but really what we're talking about here is the over-optimization. So this is on the website. And when I mean the website, it could also mean, and more abundantly probably mean, that let's just say here are 4 websites linking to your website, and they all have that X term in it. So again, now you've got an over-optimized website and over-optimized pages with anchor text. Let's just pick AT with anchor text that's the same term. So now you're double penalizing yourself. So in this case where we see over-optimization, it's probably a combination of both on-page and off-page linking anchor text similarities where there's just so much of the same text. And we see some of this with on page with a 4 to 7% of the total language is that term where we see the penalties come in. Over here we see linking strategies where it's north of 20% of all these texts being major problems. So how do we get rid of this? Again, as I mentioned before, you need to reduce the amount of text in the website that has this over-optimization. I'm being general here, but also you need to create links without the anchor text that you're having the problem with. We need to have text that is now maybe just product-based or customer-based, or could be anything related to click here, or it could be just the name of the company. So now we can reduce these or get rid of these links incomplete. You can actually disavow links within the tools of Google, and then that will, now let's just say we build new links that are branded terms, or they're regular click here, and then maybe some minor level of X just so that there's relevancy. But even that's getting to a point where, you know, you're going back in the old direction. So if you have these problems, we know what the issue is, so now you can go back and solve it. There are certain tools, and you can hire companies like us to do this as well. But most importantly, what you need to do is take a look at your website, and if you've been penalized by this, see if there's an overabundance of the terms that you're being penalized for. Hope this helps. We'll see you in the next episode.